In this video, I'd like to introduce a new national mapping project that we're introducing into Parish Online. This is about collecting lots of different information about a parish in order to map it nationally. We'd really like your input on this, so I'm going to explain how you would go about doing it. It will then become obvious why we're doing it, because I think there's lots of interesting factors that will come out of this project. It's an evolving project, so the questions that we put into this will evolve over time. So it would be great that once you've done it initially, you can come back to it periodically and make sure the information you've put in is correct and up to date. And you'll then be able to see how your parish compares to others around the country. Okay, so it's very simple to do. All you need to do is log into your Parish Online account. If you don't have one, you can take out a free trial and use this completely free. So all you need to do is click on the map inside your parish boundary. That will highlight it and it will bring you up the info panel on the left hand side. And you'll notice there's now a new link here. All you need to do is click that link and it will open up a new tab. And this will present the questions that we'd like you to answer. So all you need to do is click Start and we give you a summary of what this is all about and why we're doing it and what to do if you get stuck. Let's click Next. And then the questions are grouped up into different themes. So first of all, we have your council and clerk qualifications. Now, as the guidance says, don't worry if you don't know any of these questions as you go through. Just skip them and contribute the information that you do know. So we start off with an easy one, and it's what the suffix is for your local council, i.e. are you a parish council, a town council, a community council? Just enter which one you are. And when you click on an answer, it will ping you through to the next question. So we're not going to go through all of these now for this particular council. I'm just going to show you the process. But on each question, it will have obviously the question and then a little bit of a summary and any detail that you need to find out about it if you want to delve a little deeper before you answer. But if you're not sure, just click Next and ignore the question. Some of these are not just yes or no's, they are drop-downs. So under the drop-down, you've got different options here to select. And some of them are dates. You can either enter the date or use the drop-down picker to find the date. And then some of these are numbers, so just answer for what your current state is. So how many councillors you've got in post and how many vacancies you've got. And then we're into the next section, which is your council's declarations, plans and projects. So here we're asking what stage you are in terms of neighbourhood planning. So under the drop-downs, we've got plan approved, plan in progress, or you've had one that's expired, or you've never had one. And if you've put in something like plan approved and click Next, it will send you off into more questions about that. So it will ask you when your neighbourhood plan was approved. And it'll also ask you what the term is for your neighbourhood plan. Again, don't worry if you don't know it, just ignore it. And then the same with declaring a climate emergency. So if you've already declared one, it will then ask you, okay, what year did you declare that climate emergency? And has your council set a net zero target date? And if it has, what year is that date? You can see at the bottom, the little green blobs show me the questions I've answered. So if you want to go back to another question, or you've remembered one, or you think you've put something in incorrectly, you can skip back to a question at any point just by clicking on it, and it'll spin you through to that question. And then finally, we finish with a nice simple one, which is entering your local council's website URL. If your parish doesn't have a website, just put in the words no website, but just take the full address and submit it. Okay, that shows that the maps have now been updated and we can go back to Parish Online to take a look. Okay, well done. You've now done the boring bit. This is where you get rewarded with some pretty maps. So, on the left-hand side, if you scroll down a little bit, we've got some new collections here for you. We've got national maps, parish statistics, property statistics, and summaries. I'm just going to touch on the parish statistics today. We won't be looking at the property stats just yet. So I'm going to expand the parish stats. And you can see there's layers here which correlate to the questions that you've just answered in that form. So I can click on local council types here. And it then colours up the map to the types of councils in your area. So this teal colour are all parish councils, then you've got these orange town councils, and then you've got yellow parish meetings. We can zoom out further, and we've also got community councils, city councils, and various other grouped councils. And this is just visualising those differences in your sector. And this is potentially quite a dry topic, but actually there's some interesting nuances that we find when visualising this information on a map. So you can start to see where there's groups of parish meetings all grouped together, and then there's conversations that could happen on whether these should be merged into a parish council, or whether they could be merged into neighbouring parishes. So we're looking at the governance and the structure geographically on the map. You'll notice there's some holes, and that's because we've got non-parished areas. Okay, let's turn that one off and switch another one on. And this one is showing local council domain names. So this is very popular at the moment in that people are wondering whether to switch to a gov.uk domain. And here you can visualise whether your parish is similar to others around it. So in green, we've got parishes that are using gov.uk domains. And in fact, let's turn on the legend here so we can see this. So we've got org.uk's are in blue, .coms are in orange. And again, you just get a visualization of whether you are slightly different in your area. But all we're trying to do is map these differences. We're not saying any are right or wrong. Obviously, there's a big push for gov.uk domains, but we're just looking at what is different in your area. Okay, and other themes we've got here, like the climate emergency declarations, we can visualize those on a map. And these will be very sparsely populated to start off with as you and other parishes start to populate this information. But over time, we're hoping this will build into a really nice, fully featured map. So do go and take a browse through those other layers. And if you see any issues with your parish in terms of what you've added in and what you think's correct, use that form to go and update it. Now, if you're particularly enthusiastic, and you're interested in your local area, you can also populate information for neighbouring parishes. Now, obviously you're not going to know everything, but you can go down to a neighbouring parish, click on theirs, and go and fill in their statistics as well. In this scenario, we're not expecting you to fill in everything about it, but there may be things that you know. So what type of council they are, and also the one at the very end here, what website domain are they using? And that will really help populate that map as well. So there's no harm in contributing information about other parishes. Obviously just be accurate with it and don't guess. If you don't know something, just leave it. Okay, and there's not just information that you're populating to produce these maps. We've done some work as well on creating some maps already. One of those is the precept map. Now we thought this would be a really interesting idea to see the Band D differences across the country. So if I switch that one on, and again let's put the legend on here, and zoom out, you can start to see the parishes that are asking for quite a small amount of council tax to the ones that are asking for more. Now, again, we're not saying any are right or wrong in this scenario. We're just looking at the geographic visualization, the differences in what local council precepts are. And again, this map won't be 100% correct. We're just taking as much data as we can and visualising it as best we can. And if you want to find out more, you can zoom in and click on one of the parishes, click on the Band D layer, and you'll see the name of the parish along with what their total precept is, what their tax base is, and what the Band D rate is. Now we do have one extra thing in here that I'd like to show you, and that's in the summaries collection. This will develop over time, but we're starting to put together summaries of the information that you're collecting. So in this map, instead of showing the individual parishes that have gov.uk domains, we are summarising it by district level. So we can get a percentage visualisation of how many parishes within a district have started using gov.uk domains. And you can start to pick out a regional variation to that. Again, the reasons we don't know, the rationale we don't know, but it's a starting point of visualising it. Okay, so this is our little mapping project. We're really enthusiastic about this. We think it will really help parishes understand their local area better, understand their differences with neighbouring parishes and what they are like at a regional level. This can help with decision making or just kicking off a conversation about it. Thank you very much.